Hello and welcome to anyone and everyone deciding to watch this video. Today, I'm doing a quick little look around at the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class Cybertron Starscream. Transformers Cybertron is a very important show to me. It's my first ever version of Transformers. So this is an update of my first ever version of Starscream in fiction. I didn't get the toy. I didn't get many of the toys when Cybertron was around. I was kind of a little late to be getting the toys. My first Starscream toy was 2007. But still, this was the first Starscream I saw on screen. And going back to the show as an adult, I think this might be the best Starscream ever, design-wise and fiction-wise. And spoiler, you probably already heard, because I am late to talking about this toy, but this is a good update. This is a real good update of this Starscream. And it's really nice to see this crazy triangle jet, tetra jet, that's not what we call it, tetra jet. That is what we like to call this type of Starscream. And he looks good. He looks a lot like that old toy, less paint, less electronics, because he has no electronics. But whatever. It is still a really nice update of this Starscream to see. You see he's got the guns here on his cockpit. He also has extra guns here on his arms. I don't remember the guns there. I'm gonna have to rewatch the show again sometime soon. You can also articulate his wings here for some reason. I don't know why you would want to do that, but they included it if you want. And of course, he has his swords that you can pull out in vehicle mode for his cyber planet key power that can now activate without using a cyber key, despite the fact that he does in fact have one. So you can have him fly around and stab other airships, because that is what planes and jets and stuff do in the sky. They stab each other. That's how air combat works, right? Right? And before we get him into robot mode, because to be honest, that's kind of all that has to be said about the vehicle mode. It's a triangle. It looks really good. It's got some fun paint, even if not that much paint. So I'm going to quickly compare him to Gamerverse Starscream. Gamerverse, Gamer Edition. Gamerverse is a Marvel term, not a Transformers one, because I brought up how this Starscream kind of feels like an amalgamation between this and G1 Starscream. And admittedly, this one has more of a magenta, a darker blue, a little bit darker color scheme overall. Ooh, getting brighter. Sun's getting revealed for a little bit from the clouds. But like you can see how close these two Starscreams feel to each other, right? Now this one is admittedly trying to mimic War Within, that old comic book, if you've ever read it. At least I'm pretty sure it's trying to do that, because those designs are very similar, whereas this really is trying to be the G1 homage, but I feel it must be taking some type of homage from this Starscream here. There's got to be something going on. But even still, let's just get another quick look around of this jet mode. And you can see it from every angle. Not really any like landing gear or anything, but it doesn't really need it. It sits just well. And let's pull out the gun for a little bit. And first off, as you can see, stored in the back here is the Decepticon Cyber Planet key, because unlike the Minicons with the Transformers Armada figures, they did include the planet keys. And unlike the Minicons, I am okay with these being omitted, especially because they were only here to activate springs and electronics. And if we're not going to have the springs and electronics, why do we have a useless chunk of plastic? Speaking of chunks of plastic, his gun. And he did have a separate handgun in the original toy in the show. I don't remember it looking like this. In fact, I know it did not look like this on the original toy. Did the show change it to look like this and I'm just never paid attention to it whenever I watched the show? Because why would I pay attention to the Starscream's handgun that he practically never used? Or is this them giving him the gun of a character they plan to retool him into? I don't know. But as you can see, they did include extra storage for the planet key in the back of the gun if you don't want it inside the figure, which was apparently a thing a lot of those earlier Cybertron toys tried to do, give extra storage for the planet keys. That was very quickly abandoned. But, you know, it's a gun. It's translucent purple. Yeah, it's just another sci-fi gun for Transformers. Anyway, not really enough. Not really a lot, more correctly, to about this jet mode, other than it looks fun. It's a Tetrajet. It's Starb. It's Cybertron Starscream. Just having all the flubs today, and we're gonna leave them all in, baby. It's Cybertron Starscream, and it looks awesome because it's Cybertron Starscream. Now let's get him off screen and get him into robot mode. Let's go. All right. Here he is, Screamer in his robot mode. And before we talk about the toy, let's just have a fun little fact here. In Galaxy Force, the Japanese version of the show, Starscream's voice actor, apparently, according to what I've read, is the same guy who voices Kazuma Kiryu in the Yakuza video games. I only am bringing that up because I really like those games, and I really love that character, and I think it is cool that these two share a voice actor. No real reason to be bringing that up, other than it's fun, and it's relevant to this version of Starscream. Anyway, here he is, looking really cool. He's holding that gun, of course. What else can a Transformer do with a gun other than hold it? And he is looking a little slim. That is one thing. Like, this is truly I would not call this an animation accurate figure, because during the Energon Cybertron era, almost every character was just their toy as a 3D model, so you already had the show accurate version, aside from Override, who we got her show accurate version like 2 years back. So we didn't need a show accurate version for this Starscream, so might as well do something different. So they slimmed him up a bit, and sometimes that does make him weird to look at to me. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm looking at G1 Starscream in Cybertron cosplay. But he does still look great because this is an objectively great design. And let's quickly talk about the few nicks that this figure has, the few things that are going against it. 1, his chest guns cannot fold up anymore. They are stuck in place, so you can't have him launching blast effects from the chest if you wanted him doing that. Also, this is probably just my copy, but folding it in practically always launches the fist out, and in fact, I am not even going to go all the way. I'm not going to show that because I don't want it falling on the ground, but I will do a zoom in, and you can see it shifting a little bit, like how easily it's pushing out. So let's just push that back in, and we're just going to close that up again. But even still, this is a good figure, and it's got some crazy movement if you're into movement in your Transformers, mostly because they made it possible. They added this drop around hinge thing for his shoulder, so you can have him doing whatever poses you want. So of course, let's just quickly put his Cyber Planet key in where it's supposed to, so he can have out his swords like he should. And it's of course so you can have him doing whatever poses you want, just like he did in the show, but the old toy couldn't because it was limited by his articulation. Oh yeah, you can also do this with his arms, which is more of a transformation thing, but it might help you get some cool looking poses if you want. And it is really interesting. And of course, because Transformers, ever since Dark of the Moon, has been all about those 5mm ports. Oop. Sorry about that. Has always been about those 5mm ports and doing anything you can with them. You can just pop these off. In fact, you can also pop off his back wings if you want. I feel that was more for packaging reasons. And it is bizarre seeing him stripped down like this. This is another one of the things that kind of makes him almost feel more like he's cosplaying. Like this, combined with the slimmer proportions. But again, why make a 1-to-1 when the last figure was a 1-to-1 with the animation? But you can also, if you want to be weird, you can put his weapons on his legs. Don't know why you would do that. You can give them to other figures if you want. So let's actually just see. Of course, you could have Gamer Starscream come in here and be like, sha, sha, sha. And probably the most notable thing, you can place them on his arms and give him a very movieverse Optimus Prime feel. Oh, here. Like, let's do that pose that Movie Prime does in, like, the promo art. Knocking this board around. The one where he's all like this. You've seen Movie Prime in that pose, right? You have maybe you even have the little Robot Hero PVC of him in this pose. We'll put a picture of that Robot Hero right here in the corner, right about here, just to show that pose to anybody who doesn't know it. Yeah, this is like the Movie Prime thing, and it's weird seeing this Starscream with the blades on his hands. And honestly, normally when it comes to like G1 Starscream, I want his weapons to be on this part of his arm instead of here, because I always find it ridiculous. But for this figure, I feel like you're doing a disservice to all this engineering they integrated into him if you don't keep the weapons where they're supposed to go. But hey, you do your own. You can put the blades wherever you want, and I'm sure we're going to get tons of repaints of this. We might get Skywarp. I hope we get Sunstorm, because the little pocket-sized version of this became Sunstorm. I think between the Voyager and the Pocket one, we've gotten all of the cone heads from this design as well, if you want Cybertron-styled cone heads. And obviously, the one I think we will get, I think they're going to redo Shattered Glass Starscream using this guy, because this was the original Shattered Glass Starscream as well. And I feel like, how could Hasbro not give us SG Starscream? And hopefully they'll also give us SG Skywarp and Thundercracker to go with him. But let's get that SG Starscream first. And, whoop, dropping weapons. Let's put him in there. Let's put the gun in his hand again, just to show him with that. And of course you can have him going bang, 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 bang. And let's bring in Gamerverse. I'm saying Gamerverse again. Gamer Edition Starscream. And have them side by side. One is clearly shorter than the other. But hey, they both look really good. And I was bringing up how in my video on this guy, how I'm not the biggest Starscream guy. I don't really like a lot of my Starscream toys as much as I feel like I should. I feel like I buy Starscream more out of obligation. And how I was very pleased with this one, both because of my nostalgia with the game and because it's just a really good figure. And I'm the same thing here. I got a lot of nostalgia for this Starscream because, again, my first ever Starscream ever. This is what I think when I think Starscream. And this is also just a great toy in his own right. And let's hope we get more of him. hope we get all those repaints. Maybe we'll get a Titan class of him. That'd be amazing. Oh, and also, we're seeing the size comparison with Starscream. Let's bring in a photo here of him with all the other updated Cybertron figures, because there was no way I was bringing all of those up here with me on this little trip. You think I was going to pack a Titan class into my car for no reason? No way. But it is cool to see how much of Cybertron we're getting in the modern line. It's kind of shocking that we're getting so much Cybertron in the modern line. But it's cool that we're getting them. And honestly, out of all of them, if it weren't for the fact that Override was the one character who her toy wasn't show accurate, this would be the best. Because that Override is the best update so far, without question. But this Starscream is an amazing update. And if you love Starscream, if you love Transformers Cybertron, definitely a Starscream to get. Alright, now let's stop myself from rambling and end the video here. So, thanks for watching, and see you guys around.